Hello, hello, Dan Casey, Panic Proof Retirement, coming to you from the Panic Proof Studios in Bloomfield Hills. I'm going to try this live streaming again. Do you guys have any idea how hard it is to live stream? I think I'm finally getting the knack of it though. So once I start doing a successful live stream where I don't have technical difficulties, then I'm going to start doing weekly shows. However, let's start with today's case study, kind of. What I mean by that is I'm going to run you through my Will My Money Last software. Why this is so powerful is because I don't think most financial advisors do this. Most financial advisors, you go into their office, they're like, okay, you got XYZ problems, this is how I fix it. The issue with that is when someone comes to me, how do I recommend what investments to put you in or what strategies to recommend for you if I don't even know how much money you need, or I'm sorry, what rate of return you need on your money? If all you need is 2% a year to be guaranteed you're going to have all the money you ever need and pass on whatever you want to the kids, if that's even a priority, well, then that's going to point me in maybe one direction. Well, if you need 8 or 9 or 10% a year, that you absolutely have to have in order for your money to last, well, that's going to point me into a different direction, or it might even say, you know what, we haven't saved enough yet for you to retire. Okay, so I think it's super important. And again, I don't think a lot of people, advisors anyways, do it. So let's jump right in. I always like that infinite mirror technique. Okay, so here is a spreadsheet that I usually run everybody through. Will my money last? And I've got Jim and Nancy Smith here as my examples. And you can see right here is their ages, 68 and 66. So I have a Social Security inflation rate here. I've got a pension rate, right? I've got total assets I'm going to put in. I've got an inflation rate, and I've got a growth rate. Now, what this little growth rate guy does is it adjusts how much rate of return you're going to get every year on your money so we can see if it lasts. And what the spreadsheet's cool is it's doing a lot of calculations in the background. What it's basically, well, let me fill it out first, and then I'll show you what it's exactly doing. So let's do Social Security at 3%. I usually used to do 2.5%, but with today's inflation, and I don't think it's going anywhere, we're going to use 3%. Pension rate, I'm not going to do a pension today. Total assets, let's just say it's $1 million. Inflation rate is 3.5%. Okay, so let's say they're going to retire here. I don't know, Jim's going to work till 70, so he's going to turn on his Social Security, it'll be 35. And then we'll also turn on Nancy's, which is going to be the spousal. So 45,000 is what Social Security will be. And you can see the handy dandy software grows Social Security at 3% every year, okay? All right, let's move on. We're going to skip pension. Most people don't have pensions anymore anyways. Assets, we've got the $1 million growing. And let's say right here, we're going to turn on some income. Let's say they want $90,000 a year. Okay, so you can see right there, I've got your income growing at this 3.5%. So what the software is doing is it says, okay, well, we've got Social Security coming in, and that's it. So if we need 90,000, we still need 45,000, right? And that 45,000 needs to come out of your investments. Boom, right there, right? So what the software is doing is it says, all right, well, what rate of return does he need on these assets, he and she, Jim and Nancy, in order for to support all these withdrawals and have your money last? Well, let's scroll all the way down. I don't even know what the result is here, but this money's growing at 5%. And you can see, well, we're down to, well, we're basically calling it pretty close. 95 and 97, they're pretty much out of money. Okay, so what we have to do then is I need to raise that. Let's say they want to at least end with what they started with. They don't want any of these close calls, especially if there's a healthcare scare in the beginning, whatever. So as I grow this, we're going to see what those final assets are going to be. So you can see there are final assets of $1 million. Hopefully you can see that. I need a growth rate of 6.3%. And if I scroll down, I'll show you 6.3%. Yep, we're ending with $1 million. Okay. So 6.3%, it ain't no small feat to get 6.3% on average every single year. I mean, obviously the stock market gets more than that. It's just, a lot of people don't want to have 100% of the money in the stock market for their entire life. But it's kind of interesting to show, all right, well, if we can make 6.3%, you won't run out of money and you'll end with $1 million. Now, let's be clear on what $1 million is in 30 years. Is this 30 years? 68, 78, 88, 98. Yeah, about 30 years. With the basic inflation rate, the average inflation rate, we're talking that you're going to lose half your value every 15 years. I'll say that again. At today's average inflation rate, you're going to lose half your value in every 15 years. So in a 30-year period, that $1 million, cut it in half once, 500,000, cut it in half again, 250,000. So you're going to be passing on $250,000 in today's value. Okay? So it's not, $1 million isn't what you think it is, right? In 30 years. So it's important to know that as well. But I don't know, it's kind of cool to kind of go through that, right? Maybe you want to see, well, because also when you start throwing in, all right, well, maybe they've got a small little pension, $12,000 a year. What did I put it? Oh, 10,000, whatever. Got to put in my glasses. $10,000 a year. Let's say we're saving $40,000 a year here for a couple of years before they retire. So you can see how all this changes things. Let's say, what else can I throw in here? Let's say Nancy is really young. So Jim married a youngster. So, which means her Social Security isn't going to be turning on until, I don't know, maybe she wants to wait until she's full retirement age, which means she's 59, so 67, assuming Social Security is still around at 67. I'm going to add on, let's add on $18,000. Boom. Okay, now her Social Security's on. So how did that affect things? Well, they basically ran out of money again. So $1 million when she's 90, he's probably long gone, but you can see, all right, sorry, I'm having way too much fun. But you can kind of get the idea of what we do. So if you want to see if your money will last, well, then reach out to me, because this will be posted in my private Facebook group, which I do for people, case studies, customize things, have fun in that group. The QR code is up there in the corner, so feel free to scan that QR code. One of me or my staff will approve you, you'll be in, and then we're off to the races and we are good to go. Cool. I hope everyone